Welcome everyone to episode 46 of This Week in Geek. My name is Ren and I am of course joined as always by my co-host Zach Pope. How are you doing today, Zach?
I'm good, man. I'm excited to talk. It feels like it's been forever.
It's been forever. Sometimes I can do the show, other times you can do the show. And next week there won't be a show, but we are specifically here today on this episode of This Week in Geek to talk about what's happening next week here in London, in the United Kingdom, because Star Wars Celebration is coming over. Last year, I couldn't do a show with Zach around this time of year because he went to Star Wars Celebration
Mm-hmm.
in California. Now I myself is going. And if you're excited about Star Wars Celebration, make sure you like this video. Make sure you rate us on Spotify. However you're finding us, thank you for finding us, whether you're watching us live on YouTube, whether you're listening to us on Spotify, on a commute, on a jog, whether you're traveling through a galaxy far, far away. Thank you so much for checking this episode out. And yes, we will be essentially previewing Star Wars Celebration 2023. It starts this upcoming Friday, April 7th, going all the way through Monday, April 10th. And it's a nice topic of discussion for today's episode because it comes off the back of last week's topic, which was the whole non-existence or lack of momentum for Star Wars movies specifically. So we're going to have lots to talk about. But before we get onto that main topic of discussion, in case you don't know how This Week in Geek works, we basically have three segments. The first one, we go into our weekly ranking. That's when me and Zach go over what we watched this past week and rank it from worst to best. We highlight some of your weekly rankings from the live chat. Then we go into that main topic of discussion, which in this case is Star Wars again. And last but certainly not least, our favorite part of the show, your favorite part of the show, where we answer some of your questions. Now, there are three ways of asking questions. Number one is leave them on the community tab, and we'll do our best to get to them, but we don't guarantee we'll answer every single one of your questions because of time. But if you want to guarantee your question is answered and is answered as soon as possible, you can support the channel actively as you ask great questions through the super chat feature or the tip link in the description. By the way, the tip link sends all your donations to us and doesn't cut any percentage of it to YouTube or Google. So in case you want to support the channel, that's the best way. All right. Before we get going into the main topic, then I'm going to start us off with our weekly ranking. And I haven't watched a lot. I only watched three things this week, and I can only rank two of them. So it's going to be one quite bad thing and something else I really, really liked. So in second place, last place is Murder Mystery 2. I don't know why I decided to watch this, but I somewhat enjoy the first one, so I was curious. It's not a good movie. Essentially, what I said in my letterbox was that the movie was over and I was still waiting to laugh. It has a great cast, as all these Happy Madison, Adam Sandler productions do, but doesn't really do anything at all interesting, which I will argue the first one somewhat did. And in first place, I'm going to have Ben Affleck's Air. Not going to go into detail because I still haven't had time to record my review. I'll be recording it tomorrow alongside something else that I will be talking about on the 11th at 9 a.m. BST or British Standard Time. I don't know. I think that's 1 a.m. Zach's time. So you do all those conversions. But Tuesday the 11th, that's when the embargo breaks for a certain horror movie coming out. But Air is so good. I love this movie. I love the behind the scenes deep dive. I love how on a microcosm level it essentially tells the story of 80s America. And there's a lot to talk about in this film that I will talk about in my review. So that is my number one. Go see it in theaters. Zach, what do you got?
So I only watched four things this week. I've just been playing more video games. So even though I've had a great week for movies, let me just say that. So at the bottom, I'm just gonna say they're my number three because they're tied.
Okay.
It's Air and Gone Baby Gone because I'm doing a Ben Affleck
Okay.
director's marathon. I've never seen Gone Baby Gone until last night, and I loved it. I loved Air. I just love Ben Affleck as a director, so
Yeah.
that's that. Second place, John Wick Chapter 4. I saw it again, loved it. It's my favorite film of the year so far. It's amazing.
Same.
And then at my
Same.
number one is The Wolf of Wall Street. Celebrated my birthday last weekend
Yep.
and watched it because, you got to enjoy one of your favorite films of all time, and it just flies by. So fast paced. I love the movie so much. So that's my number one for the week.
All right, let's check out some of your guys' weekly ranking in the live chat. Demity and Scott, number 7, Gotham Knights. Number 6, Superman and Lois. Number 5, Superman 2, Richard Donner cut. Number 4, Wonder Woman 1984. Number 3, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Number 2, Chicago. And number 1, Joker. I have a lot of problems with that number 1, but I respect the audacity. Eric Thorpe reviews. Number 1, Justice League Season 1. Number 2. Number 2, The Sopranos. Number 3, Speed. Number 4, Nobody. Number 5, The Mandalorian, Episode 5. Number 6, Cutthroat Island. And number 7, Tron. Lady Aaron, number 2, Dragon Ball Super Superhero. And number 1, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I would definitely flip those two around. Okay, so no weekly ranking from Tony Movie Chappie. All right. Jack Alexander, number 6, Succession. Number 5, Mando. Number 4, Platoon. Number 3, The King of Comedy. Number 2, Heat. And number 1, In the Name of the Father. I think that's one of my Damian Day-Lewis blind spots, honestly. I'd never seen that movie. Nathan Madigan, weekly ranking, The Age of Innocence, Martin Scorsese period drama. And that's it. All right. Ricardo Televisa, number 5, Spectacular Spider-Man. Number 4, Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. I can't believe this movie is just now coming out.
Yeah.
I've seen it so long ago twice by this point. Number 3, The Bad Batch, Season 2. Number 2, The Mandalorian, Season 3, Episode 5. And number 1, Creed 3. Jico EP, number 6, Eon Flux. Number 5, Dungeons & Dragons 2000. Number 4, The Mandalorian. Number 3, Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Number 2, Ted Lasso. And number 1, John Wick Chapter 4. Hell fucking yes. Luis Feliciano, number 4, Mandalorian Episode 5. Number 3, Field of Dreams. Number 2, Megan. Number 1, Missing. That was my number 1 of the year before watching John Wick Chapter 4. Megan. Missing is incredible. It's better than Searching in Every Way. Go watch it if you haven't. All right, everyone. And with that out of the way, let's go into our topic. Next week, a little bit of housekeeping here. There will not be a This Week in Geek show because I will be at Star Wars Celebration. I don't know exactly what's going on Saturday because it's hard to keep track of these things, but I know I will be there, so there can't be a show. So with that, and picking up from last week's topic of discussion, Star Wars movies specifically, I say the whole brand is in a bit of a mixed bag sort of spot, but specifically movies, they are not in a hot streak. And specifically when it comes to announcements of upcoming projects, they're not in a hot streak. They've conditioned us. They've indoctrinated us into feeling like something gets announced a month, 2 months, maybe 3 months later, it's going to get canceled and it's not going to see the light of day, which is really fucking unfortunate because it's fucking Star Wars. So with Celebration right around the corner, it's literally the biggest event for Star Wars of the year. It is the celebration of Star Wars is across generations. So they obviously have a panel dedicated to Lucasfilm that they're going to throw out these announcements, or at least I believe. Oh, it was? Okay.
I didn't get to go in, but there wasn't really any announcements.
Yeah. So hopefully this year it's not the same. But even if they do announce it, let's just hope further down the line they don't cancel these projects. So the question we propose on the title, and we'll propose in this main discussion, is, can Star Wars strike back? Can they have this celebration and use it as a launching point to propel themselves into glory, once again, because that's what Star Wars needs right now. They have a ton of other panels dedicated to the only thing they have out right now, which is television. They have a Bad Batch panel for some reason. They have a Mando panel. They have an Ahsoka panel, which I'm very excited for. I'll definitely be in that panel. And then they have a general one for whatever else is coming in the future, whether that's TV, whether that's movies, whatever. But can they commit to it? Can they announce these movies and see it through to the end and not just back down 2 weeks later? And because then you not only are affecting the brand as you are right now, come next celebration, people are not going to be very excited because once again, you've proven that these projects you announced, they don't really matter. You don't really put in the commitment. You don't really put in the effort, which is a shame. Zach, talk to us a little bit about the last Star Wars celebration, your experience in it, and how do you see how Star Wars stands right now, and what do you think and hope for celebration this year?
Okay, do you mean my experience on like the convention itself, or just like what was announced?
No, like your overall experience in the convention.
Oh, I thought it was terrible. If I'm being honest, I had fun at times because of friends, but it was very disorganized. I think
Okay.
someone else is organizing it this year, though. Do you know if it's Reed Pop or is it
Yes,
actually?
it is Reed
It
Pop.
is. I pray for you. I pray for you. They were very disorganized last year, and just panels and trying to get into them. So I didn't even get into any. I literally would just go back to my hotel room, wait,
Oh shit.
see what's gonna go. But it's still fun because there's a lot of cool stuff. And just as like a Star Wars fan, there's a lot of cool shit to see, or just Lucasfilm because you get a lot of Indiana Jones stuff, and that's what I'm interested to see in what they bring in announcements. But I will also say I think it is affecting this fan base right now. I think people are just fucking over it, to be honest. Like when I was at the convention last year, the coolest part was there's no toxic fandom there. Everyone who is at that convention still loves Star Wars.
Yeah.
They might not love all of it, but they love Star Wars and they respect everyone's opinions. Like when I was waiting in line, I met like this group of 6 people that I've never talked to since, but each and every one of them liked Star Wars for a different reason. One was only into the animated stuff. They didn't really care for the movies, but they loved the animated. They love Rebels. They love Clone Wars. There was one who's really only into Mandalorian. That's what got them into the series. And then there's one who only loves the sequel trilogy, one who loved the prequel trilogy. Like, so it was cool to see like different perspectives and get to meet people who love Star Wars. I think, and I'll say this right now, because like Mando's ratings like aren't that strong. You can chalk that up to not the best marketing. I feel like they don't really market the damn show like they usually do. But I'll also chalk it up to sometimes you need movies to excite people to go and watch what's on TV, even if it's not connecting. I think if you look at Marvel, I think having Marvel movies that are great lead into shows. And I think you can see that because look at what did WandaVision come off of? Endgame, the return of Marvel after Endgame, and that was the highest rated show, and a lot of people liked that one. Loki, and then you had Falcon Winter Soldier, which some people were mixed on. Then you have Loki, and then okay, now we're going down this thing where not everyone's watching the shows and not everyone's loving the movies. I think those go hand in hand, and I really do think they need a movie. They need a winner, and that 2025 movie, they just lost the scriptwriter Damon Lindelof. They hired someone who made Serenity, one of the greatest unapologetic masterpieces of the world, but not in the best way.
Hired someone who made Locke. Let's focus on that. Locke.
I guess so. And Peaky Blinders. He made Peaky Blinders.
Yeah,
which
that's
I love,
true.
So.
And Taboo.
Yeah. So, anything they announce this year that's not TV, I don't care. I'll be excited, but you gotta prove to me. And I'm curious to see like what could they announce? Because are they just gonna announce it's this person making this? It's this, or are you gonna give detail to what you're making? Like, is there going to be detail? Like, this is the next Star Wars movie. We're going
title,
to this era.
story, cast, maybe cast. That is.
And then, but I need to know why. Cool, you're
Yeah.
making a Taika Waititi Star Wars movie. Maybe. What's it about? What
Yeah.
era? Stuff like that. Like, this one is rumored to be after the sequel trilogy, which is something I would want. But I'll
Hmm.
tell you right now, if you're doing it after the sequel trilogy, I wouldn't mind if it went to a different part of the galaxy. But I still want to continue the story with Rey. There seems to be a lot more there. So it's like you
But
have these ideas. I don't know.
I think you can continue the story with Ray and Finn and Poe and whatever, but just because this one is set after the sequel trilogy, it doesn't need to be that story. I would actually think it's quite interesting if you do right now a story set after the sequel trilogy, but it's just it's not their story yet. They'll come back and we'll do follow-ups on that.
Well, and that's fine
But
with me too. But you got
yeah,
to still sell me. Like, what's the
yeah,
enemy?
100%.
Like, what? Everything's peaceful now. You know.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing with because now, like you're saying, to emphasize your point, the announcement itself of this movie is coming out, it's not enough. They've
I don't
dirtied
care.
and they
Yeah.
dirtied the brand too much for now. You have to give me this movie's happening, and here's the date, and here's the creative, and here's what the story is about, and it's gonna star. Maybe don't even announce cast, but give me details. What's the lead character? What's the conflict? What are the enemies? How does it
Concept art to a
concept
certain
art?
extent.
Yeah, yeah. Like
You know
it's not
what I
enough to
would
just
say?
say Star Wars movie coming out in Christmas 2026. It's not
Like,
enough.
I'll tell you right now. If like they could announce Steven Spielberg was making a Star Wars movie written by throw one of the best writers out there. I don't know. I'd
Yeah.
still wouldn't be excited. I'd be like, oh, that's cool. But what's it about? When is it coming
Yeah.
out? Like they
Yeah.
need to set
Is
release
it
date.
coming out?
Is it coming out?
I will say this: the Steven Spielberg example. I don't think they can afford themselves to lose a Steven Spielberg.
But they would. But they would.
Yeah, they probably would. Wouldn't they? it's
Yeah. I mean, they don't have the
it,
Kevin
it.
Feige thing anymore, which maybe
Yeah,
that's
they
for a
don't.
bunch of different reasons. But
Yeah,
like, I don't know. I just it's always what's the words they always
they
use?
they've put themselves in
Conflict.
this position. They put themselves in this position where now you don't get excited anymore because of what they themselves. And it's not a matter of this movie wasn't good or that movie wasn't good or this series sucks or that series is subpar. No, it's because things are not happening. Things have
Yep.
not been happening for a while. You announce things only to immediately cancel them. And by this point, you've announced more movies and canceled more movies than you've made.
Yep.
It,
Like, how did the Patty Jenkins one not get made? Like, that
yeah,
just seemed like an obvious one to go and make.
yeah. That whole
And then,
presentation. She has the
yeah,
helmet. She has the jet fighter, fighter jets. Yeah, it's and it sucks that they put themselves in this position right as their celebration event is coming up.
everyone's
Like
looking at them because
what's
the
the
big panel's
vibe
Friday,
going into
right?
that?
Is the
The
big panel Friday?
big panel is Friday. I think Ahsoka's Saturday. Hang on, let me check
I
the app.
assume I assume that they'll
Um,
drop the Ahsoka trailer with the release
Let me
date.
check schedules. Lucasfilm Studio showcase at 11 on Friday, 11 a.m. Then you have Ahsoka on Saturday. Then on Sunday,
What time's
there's
Ahsoka?
it's 11 a.m.
Okay.
My time.
Jesus Christ.
Uh,
That's
like 4
BST
a.m.
time,
your
right?
time? Yeah.
3 a.m.
3 a.m. Missed by one. Then on Monday, you have like a panel to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the greatest Star Wars movie ever made, The Return of the Jedi. And then on Sunday, on Monday, there's not really anything like nothing of those like big things. I guess their big panel that day is the Bad Batch panel, which just tells you like there's nothing big going on that day. Because who cares?
I think they're just gonna announce season 3, and that's it. And that it'll be the final
Oh,
season.
shocking. Oh, hopefully. I keep talking to you about this, but I haven't told anyone right here on the show. I've been watching The Bad Batch, and it keeps going from wow, that was actually really good, not good for The Bad Batch. This was really good, and then it goes to another episode where okay, side mission. Okay, it doesn't
I
matter.
just got to episode 8. I still
8.
like the show.
Episode
I
8
still
was
like.
really good. 7 and 8
Oh,
are two that are
okay.
really good. I just watched 9 yesterday and 9 last night. And 9 is one that's essentially the first of a two-parter.
Mhm.
And the whole episode, I'm like, why are we here? Why should I care? What's the goal? Like, it's
Honestly,
an episode where a ton of shit happens and I have no idea what's going on or why I should care.
I
Yeah.
still like the show. It's one of
Good
those like Star
animation.
Wars things. It's great, yeah. But I still like the show. I like actually like going back to like start it again. I was like, man, I actually really like it. It works better as a binge than watching it week to week. I think that's why season 1 I was so downer on, because
I
I
don't even
started watching it
know
week to week
because
and
I'm
was
essentially
just waiting
binging
for
it.
something.
I'm essentially binging it, and it just feels like a chore. So I'm not claiming it would work back week to week because I think that would even be more frustrating. But even binging, it's like, what is the fucking point? Why are we here? Like
Oh, I
episode
just like
7
the
and 8
characters
in the
though. Like
Senate with Senator Chuchi, those are really good episodes.
I just like the characters. I just like watching them interact and stuff. I mean, it's
I
like
don't.
Clone Wars. You'd have those random clone episodes that
I
if
like
I watched it week to
everyone
week, I'd
else.
hate.
I like everyone else more than I like the Bad Batch because the Bad Batch is just it's stagnant. Like they're always the same. Okay, the Wrecker is the big strong one. Tech is the one that only talks in tech quiz and doesn't
But
understand
did you
emotions.
ever? But you know
Omega
what it
is an
reminds
annoying
me of
kid.
is the old game
Hmm.
Republic Commando, which I fucking love, and
Never
that's why
played
it's
it.
like that's why, because it's like Call of
Alright.
Duty shit, and I fucking
Okay.
it's just fun each week for me to watch the clones just tear shit up.
I mean, I just hope it keeps going more towards those 1, 2, 3 episodes are like, this is really fucking good, and they give us more of those. But getting back on track. So that big panel, the Lucasfilm showcase one, let's hope, because right now it's very ambiguous. And even if they give us amazing announcements. I talked to you guys last week about this. I haven't talked to Zach. Like when they announce, I don't know, Star Wars directed by who's a really good director. I would love to see David Lowery doing a Star Wars movie, and he's going to
Doing a
do a
show.
Star Wars
He's doing
movie.
Skeleton Crew. So
Skeleton Crew, yeah, that's why. Okay, let me give another one. Okay, Star Wars movie directed by Chad Stahelski, starring Keanu Reeves as a gray Jedi, and it's all the way in the past. Give me it, bring it to me. I'm going to be super excited when that comes on screen and they show us the logo and all that, and it's going to be amazing, and the crowd's going to explode. Getting out of that panel, getting out of that showroom, it's gonna hit. Oh, maybe this movie is not gonna happen. Is this movie gonna happen? Are they gonna cancel it in like 2 weeks or a month or 2 months? That's what's gonna sink in, because I'm sure at the time, whatever they announce, is gonna be like, yeah, fuck yes, it's gonna get the reaction until you have time to sit and think about it. So that's the big problem going in as a Star Wars fan, going into that panel that's supposed to celebrate movies and what they will bring on. But going on to Saturday, the panel I'm most excited about, Ahsoka. I don't know if we're going to get an episode, though I give it a 60% chance. I guarantee you we are getting a trailer for the Ahsoka series. Whatever the Ahsoka series trailer is going to reveal, I don't know. I have my speculations, I have my hopes, but I have no concrete.
I think they announced the
Like-
rest of the cast of like exactly who everyone's playing.
Yeah,
I think we get
yeah.
further confirmation of who's playing Hera, which I think is a Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I could be wrong, but I thought that's who.
Supposedly.
I think they'll show who's playing Ezra. They will absolutely show who's playing Thrawn, though. I think.
Yeah.
If he's at
And
least
they
in the
will
first
show
season,
us,
and it's not
they
like a
will
last
show-
episode,
and he'll be like the stinger in the trailer,
Mhm.
and maybe
Who
he
else
won't
would-
show up in the trailer.
And I mean, there's something. There is someone else we
Sabine,
just saw
Natasha
in Mando
Liu
this last week.
Bordizio as
Yeah. There is someone else
yeah,
that we just saw in Mando.
I think
So-
the celebration one, the main one, the first day will give us a little bit more of Mando, and maybe dive a bit. Maybe they'll give us episode 6. No, episode 6 is this week. Maybe they'll give us episode 7. You know, who knows?
Or
and episode 8, make a movie out of it.
yeah, I wonder if they'll talk about Andor at all. What else? Is Skeleton Crew. Oh, Skeleton Crew will probably get a teaser. I think they'll show Skeleton Crew footage.
Yeah,
there.
Skeleton Crew will probably get a teaser. Andor, because they are shooting right
you know what
now.
You guys will probably get to see
Hmm.
the Acolyte. You'll probably get to see a clip.
Ooh,
Because
I
they
don't know
showed
if we see a
exclusive stuff
clip,
last
but
year.
a sizzle.
They
I'd
showed
expect a sizzle.
Ahsoka the year before it came out.
They did.
So they showed like a 40-second
maybe,
thing.
maybe. I'd expect more of a sizzle, but I hope you're right. I would love to be wrong in this one, but yeah. So Acolyte, Ahsoka for sure getting a trailer. A little bit more of Mando, like what's coming in the last 2 episodes. Yeah, I would not be shocked at all if they turn to us and, hey, there's only 2 episodes of Mandalorian left. That's about 90 minutes overall. We're going to give you a Mando sort of movie in this panel because we have nothing to announce in terms of movies. So yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. And that's gonna rule over Celebration if that happens for the next few days, because it kind of distracts us from the fact that either no movies are announced or the movies that were announced, maybe they're not going to happen. Then we'll think about that and we'll complain about that and we'll linger on that after Celebration. But right now, be happy with all this stuff we're giving you. So I'm excited to see what else is coming in the realm of television and what they are prepared to tease us with. Zach, for the final segment in this topic, throw us a wild prediction of something they announce, something they reveal, some casting, some director, whatever. But a bold prediction.
That's tough. Do you have one off the top?
No, I asked you to go first because I need to think.
Can I give 3 random ones? Just like whatever pops in. Okay. 1, Mandalorian movie announced. Whether it's Din, whether it's whatever. Alongside that, a Bo-Katan spinoff. I think 1000% Bo's getting a spinoff. Hopefully it's not the Book of Bo-Katan.
Do you just call it Bo?
Maybe. And last but not least, I think if they announce, because there's rumors they're going to announce 3 movies. I think one of those movies is Knights of the Old Republic. I think if you want to get in the good gracious of the fans.
And you want that as a movie?
I don't, but
okay.
I think they need a movie. I wouldn't mind. Let me put it this way. I wouldn't mind if they did a movie on it, but they also had like a concurrent show as well. Like say like this, it's like the era of Knights of the Old Republic. And then like they have a show that also coincides. Like you don't have to watch the show to get the movie and vice versa, but it's at least expands that area. Just that time period, like where there's just so many Jedi, so many Sith. But I think definitely a movie. I think a movie first would really get the fan base. And they probably won't call it Knights of the Old Republic, but they might be like, remember this game? This is the time period it's taking place in. So that's what I would guess one of the movies would be.
I think they not only reveal Thrawn, they reveal who's playing Thrawn, they reveal the connecting threads, and they reveal a show or a movie to culminate Mando and Ahsoka
Yep.
and whatever else to bring them together with Thrawn as the big bad in that movie. I think that'd be really cool. And if they do that, because it's not just a movie you're announcing, it's a movie that's culminating these shows. These shows that either already exist, have already been shot, and are about to come out. And so these shows, if you're preparing a movie to be its finale, you still need that finale. So it gives us a little bit more security and assurity that, oh no, this movie is coming out, because it needs to culminate everything else. And they already have this talent on board, that talent on board. Jon Favreau would probably direct it and co-write it with Dave Filoni, which would be fucking awesome if you ask me. So it's a nice compromise of meeting movies and TV, but the announcement of a movie that is the culmination of TV shows makes it a little bit more of a sure bet than it actually will happen and will not fall by the wayside like all their other projects.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Captain Rex is in Ahsoka?
I would guess so.
That's who I would
guess. Spoilers for Mandalorian. Oh, Captain Rex. Hang on. But yeah, I still think so. Who would I cast? Temuera Morrison. There's no one else to cast.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless he dies in the meanwhile, like knock on wood. I hope he doesn't, of course. But yeah.
I'm surprised Boba has not. I mean, maybe I'm not, but I'm surprised he hasn't been in this season.
I'm not. No, that show didn't happen. No, what are you talking about? We didn't do a Boba Fett show. We made the Mandalorian show, but we didn't do a Boba show. That didn't happen.
Do you think that show hurt the Mandalorian season 3? Like people being excited for it?
I think it was a factor, sure, but I don't think like.
What would you attribute the fallen?
The marketing wasn't great.
Yeah.
The season itself so far isn't as good as the others. Like it's good. I'm having fun with Mando. I like spending time with Mando and Grogu.
I miss them going to different planets and doing different shit every week.
To me, that's not what I miss. I miss having a clear objective, because episode 5, okay, here it is. It's here. And in terms of what the characters want, what we understand they want, sure, it's been clear from the beginning, but the story itself isn't driving itself in that direction. It's doing a lot of things, and it's fun. It's entertaining, and I can't wait every week to go on another adventure with them. This is a fast-moving
season too, because usually you'd be like, "Oh, okay." I thought the whole season was going to be him getting the Mandalore, getting to the water. Okay, no, he's done with that. Oh, okay, so now he's gonna he'd finished that already. Okay, so what's he got to finish next? So, but I do love how they're focusing on Bo-Katan, because that is like the best aspect of this season, in my opinion. Like Katie Sackhoff is killing it in this role.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome.
So I love that.
All right, everyone. And that's essentially our preview of what we know is coming at Star Wars Celebration, what we hope it's coming at Star Wars Celebration. And let's hope Star Wars, the brand, gets back on track. All right. With that out of the way, let's go into our favorite part of the show. I'm sure your favorite part of the show. And we're going to answer your questions. Remember, there's 3 ways of asking questions. You can leave your questions on the community tab. We'll do our best to get to it, but there's no guarantee we'll get to your question. Second way is support us through the super chat. And the best way is going through the tip link in the description below. And those 2 ways, we guarantee your question is answered. So let's start with Deminition Scott. Why is it that these exclusive shows and films don't get physical media? If it's Disney plus Netflix and Hulu, but if it's HBO or Paramount, they are happy to release their content on physical media. And Amazon. Amazon also releases their content on physical media. I also have Daredevil season 1 and 2 on Blu-ray, so Netflix has done it. There's 2 answers. Number 1, it's a licensing, a company decision, and they just don't want to, which is their right because the content is theirs. On the other hand, as much as I would love to own every single MCU project on Blu-ray, it's kind of stupid if they do, honestly. Because the idea of a streaming service exclusive show or movie is the idea of you can only watch this here. And if you put it out somewhere else where you can pay a one-time thing and own it physically, it goes against the purpose of creating those shows. It's a shame. Again, I want Moon Knight on Blu-ray. I want Loki on Blu-ray. I want WandaVision on Blu-ray. I want Mando on Blu-ray. I don't want the Bad Batch on Blu-ray or Boba Fett on Blu-ray.
Well, they never even did Clone Wars Season 7.
I want Star Wars Clone Wars Season 7 on Blu-ray. You know, I want The Last of Us on Blu-ray. And over here might get a release because we don't have HBO Max, so we win.
No, the Steelbook's on sale right now.
That's right. It's on pre-order over here too.
Which I had to pre-order
Dragon
because I had to pre-order the UK one because there is no Steelbook out here.
Oh shit! I mean, you might as well come here for it. I mean, make a trip out of it. But yeah, it's kind of stupid if you do because it goes against the purpose of having those shows in the first place. Mm-hmm. All right. Let me just refresh it. Second question comes from Lady Aaron. Zach, did you enjoy your birthday last week?
Nope.
No. Why not?
No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, okay. I did.
All right. Also for Lady Aaron, where are you most looking forward to Star Wars Celebration next week? We went over that. What are your thoughts on Killers of the Flower Moon premiering at Cannes and the supposed length of the movie? No thoughts. I'm not going to Cannes, and if it's 4 hours, it hopefully needs to be 4 hours. We can only know for sure once we see it, but I'm not going to Cannes, so I don't really think too much of it. Zach, do you have any thoughts?
I heard the movie's 3 hours and 38 minutes. So
38. Okay.
It's not 4. Again, I could my person could be wrong, but it's almost 4 hours because that sounds like the more trendy thing to say. I don't care because Scorsese makes long films every time. I mean, almost all of his movies are over 3 hours or at least 2 hours and 45 minutes. So
yeah.
And most of the time they're needed. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes there's stuff that could be cut out, but the novel it's based on is very big. So I'm not shook by this, and I'm excited to see whatever Scorsese does because it's Martin Scorsese.
Yeah. We're just gonna have to make a day out of it whenever we go watch it because it's not one of those movies. Let's get to the movies today. No. The whole day is going to be planned around that.
I remember the Irishman screening was at 8 a.m. They literally had to pay the movie theater to open up earlier for us press members to go watch it. So
yeah,
it was worth it.
Master of Gaming, are you excited for the Blue Beetle trailer this Monday? I am interested and I am curious. I'm not excited because this isn't a character I really care too much about. Honestly, for all we know, because they still make it very ambiguous. We don't know that it's a character that is going to make it onto the DCU. Still one of those characters that is in kind of limbo.
What will make him get there? Money.
And if it's good. But that's the thing. Can a Blue Beetle movie make money? That's the real question.
The test screenings have been really good for it. So
I know. The test screenings for Shazam Fury of the Gods were also really good. And that turned out the way it did. So yeah, I don't know. I'm interested. I'm curious, but I'm not excited personally. Zach?
I love the character of Blue Beetle. So I'm excited, but I'm more excited to see the tone of what they're going for and the vibe, because Blue Beetle's an interesting character, and I hope he stands alone from the DC EU and more just in his own realm. So
yeah.
Yes,
Eric Thorpe, it was that bad, and it flopped hard, which was the point I was making. But yes, it was that bad. Master of Gaming also asks, do you think the Super Mario Bros. Movie will make $1 billion? If it's good, if people come out with those reviews and say, this movie is fucking amazing, it has a chance. I wouldn't bet on it. I don't give it a 50%. But I don't count it out either, if that makes sense. Zach, what do you think?
If the movie is just good, billion. If it's fucking amazing, like you said, I would go 1.5. I
Uh,
think the amount of people, and it's stupid, the amount of people that I know that do not go to the movies all want to see this fucking film. And what they're doing
uh,
out here is a lot of press screens. They're not letting you bring a guest. So if the movie's good, what are you going to want to do? Yeah, I'll go see it again. It's only an hour and a half. I'll go see that again.
yeah.
It's look at the Minion movies. The last Despicable Me or Minion, whatever the fuck came out last year, made like $975 million. It's
Yeah.
stupid.
Eric, I'm not saying it's a bad movie because it flopped. I was already saying it's a bad movie before it flopped. It's a really bad movie. Lady Eric, what are your thoughts on what's been going on with the whole Jonathan Major situation? Do you think that this could end his career right away because of it? Yeah, it's not looking good for Mr. Majors, is it? Look, right now, I wasn't there. Zach wasn't there. None of you in this chat were there, so we don't know all the information. All I can say is, judging from what we see, judging from what we do know, and we know very little, we've seen very little, it is not looking good. And if all these things he's getting accused of turn out to be true, I do hope his career kind of gets over. If he redeems himself, if he works for it, if he puts in the work to show he's a better person, sure, make a comeback eventually. But right now, it's not looking good. And I mean, let's hope it's all a lie, because it not only means a man is innocent, but it means nobody got hurt physically, emotionally, psychologically. Like that's the big thing. If it turns out that it was a lie, it means we have some pretty shitty people out there. But overall, it's a good thing because it means nobody got hurt, actually. Those are my thoughts right now. It's just we know very little. I wasn't there. I'm not going to pretend like I was. I'm not going to pretend like I knew a lot because I don't. But it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. Zach, I don't know if you want to add anything.
The only two things I'll add is one, I hope the girl's okay because clearly she was abused. Clearly she was hit, abused, whatever. But those text messages they released were like the dumbest thing. Like, if that didn't point me in a more direction of what the situation was, because like I've had friends in that situation, and like I've gotten text messages from them like that, like, oh, it was my fault. Oh, it's your fault that you got punched.
Yeah.
No, if you have to hit a woman, you are a piece of shit. I'm sorry. Like, you are point blank a piece of shit. So
yeah, imagine releasing those texts like, "Oh, this is going to help your case." Really, dude? Fucking really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. Again, we don't know. We weren't there, so there could be a full thing. For all we know, she was trying to stab him, or maybe it was vice versa. We don't know. They say they have footage. You better release that goddamn footage. But do you even want to? Because I don't know. It's a mess. I'm not the smartest person to talk about this. Neither is Ren. Because we talk movies. We don't talk.
This is not the
tabloids.
DV,
we're not TMZ.
DV podcast. This is not the DV podcast.
So we'll just wait and see what happens.
Or the World Star podcast.
Yeah. So, but this is
that's an idea. That's an idea we could start.
Let's rebrand it.
Let's do it on Sundays. All right. Lady Aaron, what are your thoughts on the upcoming Scott Pilgrim anime and thoughts on the original voice cast from the movie coming back? Zach's much more excited than me. Why don't you just...
let me talk about it.
Go ahead.
So I'm huge on Scott Pilgrim. I love the books. Or I guess they're manga, technically, right?
Manga. Are they technically, I mean, it's not Japanese, so it's not technically manga, but yeah.
I guess I'll just say graphic novel. Because when I try to buy them, it says a graphic novel. So I love the graphic novel. I love the movie. But you know what I love the most? The video game. The old school 8-bit video game that they came out with. And I have because the composer of that is actually doing the score for the anime, and that's one of the coolest scores in gaming. So I'm open for it. Edgar Wright's producing it, so that gets me excited. I'm just I want to see what the art style is. But what I'm hoping though is because it's just the same story, right? It's just the same story. That's what I'm getting at it from. I kind of wish it's a continuation, or at least it turns into that eventually. Because Scott Pilgrim's awesome, but I've seen the same story over and over and over now.
Yeah.
But what's the happily ever after? What happens after? Spoiler alert: Scott and the girl get together. He defeats the 7 evil X's. So there's a lot of cool, interesting stuff. But I hope that it turns into more of a sequel, if anything. And this is their way of being able to tell the sequel in a cheaper, more unique way. Because like Scott Pilgrim has a lot of anime moments already to it. So making an anime out of it, that's pretty cool.
All right. Lady Aaron, what are some of your favorite movie quotes from the golden age of Hollywood? I mean, my old, and this is only for hardcore fans of the channel. I don't know if anyone watching right now was there back in the day, but my old rating system for movies, the biggest praise I could give a movie was that it was the stuff that dreams are made of, which is from the Maltese Falcon, the greatest detective noir movie ever made. And yeah, that's probably my favorite one. Off the top of my head, like it's tough to remember any other quotes, whether from the golden age or any other. Like it's just stuff like if you ask favorite quote, the one I have tattooed on my arms, why do we fall? But that's not from the golden age. Zach?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm like trying to look up some, but like nothing that I've ever like.
Lady Aaron, today's April Fool's Day. Do you guys usually pull pranks on people? And if you do, what's the best one that you've ever done? I don't. I honestly don't do it. People don't do it to me. So yeah, Zach.
I don't care.
All right. Lady Aaron, what are your thoughts on the trailer that we got for Pixar's Elemental? I watched it, and I was honestly disappointed. It just feels very basic. And it doesn't mean that this kind of story can't be compelling, but I expected it kind of to connect to the wider world of Elemental. Because, yeah, we have the earth people, the air people, fire, water. And then, I can step out of my element. I don't need to follow my dad's ideas for me. And sure, we've seen that before. You can make that formula work still. How does it connect to the wider world? Because, like, look at Zootopia. It's about Judy Hopps, Nick, overcoming like their prejudices, their assumptions about other species, and then it connects to the wider thing going on in that world. And that's what made that movie so great. Like Elemental, I'm very excited for the idea, the possibilities in this world, but the story that they seem to be following, it's okay. So yeah, the trailer disappointed me a bit. What about you?
Yeah, I thought that's what we were gonna get in this, but also I'll be honest, when I saw Zootopia's trailer, I didn't think it was gonna do that. It just looked like they were going through different animal kingdoms.
That's true.
So,
That's
and
true.
then once I saw Zootopia, I was like, oh shit, this is like a little bit deeper than I thought. So I have a feeling Elemental might do that. Who's directing it? I think I can't remember, but
I don't remember, but I don't know that. I don't think it is like a Pixar veteran. Is it? I think it might be the guy who did The Good Dinosaur. Something else?
So he did The Good Dinosaur, but the first thing that came up was his acting credits.
Okay. He did Socks.
Yeah. So I'll say this. Oh, let's see who wrote it. John Harborough. Okay. Nothing that I really watched. And Kate Lykel. So the writers of My Name is Earl made this, which I don't know if you've ever watched My Name is Earl. I did.
No, I know exactly what it is, but I've never seen it.
Okay. I like the trailer. It's cool. It's cute. It got me a little bit more excited for the movie than I've ever been for it, if I'll be honest. The teaser didn't really impress me. I do like the animation though.
Oh,
The only
yeah,
thing is I'll say this: every general going audience person I talk to about this, they're like, "Oh, isn't this just like Inside Out?" And yeah, I don't know why, but every person.
yeah, I don't see the connection there.
Neither do
Apart from the characters being humanoid but not human, but that's
Yeah.
very, very thin. All right. Lydia, in honor of Air coming out, who are your favorite actresses who are also great directors? Obviously Ben Affleck, Clint Eastwood, Regina King, even though she only made one. Make a movie again, Regina King, please. Who else? Zach. John Krasinski.
Yeah. I was gonna say Clooney, but I haven't really liked any of his movies. So, Favreau.
That's true.
Favreau.
Ooh,
technically
nice.
not
Yeah.
good. Ben would probably be mine. Like currently, I've
Mhm.
loved each and every one of his movies. Live by Night's like my
Yeah.
only one that I'm like, that was good. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I feel like there's other people who have just directed recently.
Yeah, same.
Todd Field is technically an actor, so if you're a fan of Tar, you could say him.
Oh, he is. Okay. Actors turned directors.
Did you say Regina King already?
I did.
Clint Eastwood's sometimes great.
Greta Gerwig.
Greta, yep. Robert Redford.
Jordan Peele. How did you not say Jordan Peele?
Oh, Denzel Washington.
Kevin Costner.
Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller. Kenneth Branagh.
Oh, Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper. Well, Olivia Wilde.
Charlie Chaplin.
Say what you will about her as a person. Olivia Wilde.
Charlie Chaplin.
Marlon Brando directed?
Yeah, he did.
I'm not claiming Marlon Brando because
I have one. He only directed one movie though. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I love Don John.
Oh, yes. Good shout. Good shout. All right. Who are your favorite actor, actress, and director actor or actress and director combinations?
DiCaprio and Scorsese's mine. Always.
DiCaprio and Scorsese, Chazelle and Gosling, Nolan DiCaprio is really good. Nolan Michael Caine is fantastic, honestly.
Samuel Jackson and Tarantino.
And Tarantino, nice. Yeah. Christoph Waltz and Tarantino.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are a few.
Chad Stahelski and Keanu.
And Keanu Reeves. Nice. John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. Damien Chazelle and J.K. Simmons. I can't believe J.K. Simmons wasn't in Babylon. He also wasn't in First.
Dude, he would have been. I think, I'll tell you this right now.
He should have been the Flea character.
I was going to say the Spike Jonze role.
Oh, or that one. Sure. Yeah.
But Flea would have been a good one.
Because, like, either of them are in the movie essentially the same time. I think I'm going to concede you that he'd be the Spike Jonze character. Ooh, he'd be amazing in that.
I wonder if he was supposed to be.
Maybe. I'm sure by this point, IMDb, like the trivia, would let us know if that was the case. All right. Who are your favorite director composer combinations? Chazelle Hurwitz, Nolan Zimmer, Villeneuve Zimmer, Coogler Goranson, Russo's Silvestri is really good. So yeah. Do you have any others?
Oh, what was the question I was looking at?
Composer director combos.
No.
All right.
Oh, did you say the one who works who works with Peele?
No.
Okay, I'd say him.
All right. What are some movies with long run times that you think should have been even longer? Endgame, I guess, just because I can't get enough of it. But no, it was the perfect runtime. I don't know. I mean, 65. It's not a long runtime, but it should have been longer to dive a bit deeper into its elements. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have any that come to your mind?
I could think of short movies that should have been longer.
Yeah.
But that's
What are movies with long run times that you think shouldn't have been as long as they are? I don't know.
Tar.
Um,
Tar.
no, yeah. I wasn't remembering anything, but Tar is definitely one. Yeah, that
I
like
just remember
I don't know.
sitting there, like, and I'm like,
Mhm. Get to the fucking
okay,
point.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's go. I said it in my review. I'm like, this is a great made movie, not for me, but there's
Mhm.
a perfect film in here, and a perfect hour and 45-minute movie in this
Yeah.
film.
What are some movies in the past 10 years that you've watched more than 20 to 25 times and never get old? A
Mm.
lot. I don't count every time I watch movies, but La La Land would be there, Endgame would be there, Civil War would be there, the original Avengers would be there, First Man would be there. Babylon isn't quite there yet. It hasn't been that long since it came out. Men of Steel, for sure. Um, yeah, yeah. No, I haven't watched Dune that many times. Blade Runner 2049, definitely have. Um, yeah. Zach, do you have any others?
Did Deadpool,
Yeah.
definitely. Did Wolf of Wall Street come out after 2013?
2013. It's a 2013
Okay,
movie.
then that one. What year did Toy Story 3 come out?
2010. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Probably just Force Awakens would be one.
Oh, yeah.
I
Same.
saw that a lot.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mhm. Yeah.
Winter Soldier's probably up there too.
Ooh, yeah. I don't know that mine. Days of Future Past for me. Definitely is in that list. So yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, Andrew Seif, what are your thoughts on the Logan Lerman Superman casting rumors?
Not true.
I don't like it. I don't like the choice. But yeah, if it turns out to be true, again, I don't like the choice. But right now, as far as we know, it's not true. It doesn't come from a believable source. All right. Andrew Seif also asks, what are your thoughts on Robert Meyer Burnett no longer being a regular co-host on this John Campea show? I mean, it doesn't affect me, so I don't have that many thoughts. But as someone who watches the show, I love their dynamic. I love the whole full panel thing. So it sucks a bit, but it's something it's a decision they came to in agreement, and Rob wants to build his own channel. They're going to sponsor other smaller channels. They're never going to sponsor this channel because no one's going to tell them to. but yeah, it sucks a bit, but as long as he's there every now and then, it's cool with me. I don't know if you want to add anything.
Their sponsorship thing idea is cool. I'm curious to see
It
how that
is.
goes.
It is. Go tell them to sponsor this channel, please.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they do. But I am a little sad that he's not going to be on there as much because I think they work together.
Yeah, the panel dynamic was great.
Mm-hmm. So, but I get it. People got to change. People got to do their own thing. So
yeah. Lady Aaron, I thought that you saw the final Pokemon episode and weren't a fan of it. Have you watched the previous episode that go with Ash's epilogue and the World Coronation Series tournament? No, I didn't. I was just curious about the last episode, and that's it. And it's a really shitty finale. I guess I forgot to rank that. I still rank it above Murder Mystery 2, but it's not a good finale for anything. So yeah. Visa, do you believe that this disappearance of Moff Gideon and the Beskar clue in the Mandalorian episode 5 could have something to do with Sabine and Ahsoka to interrogate him to get information about where's Thrawn. No, not at all. I think these are super commandos from when some Mandalorians align themselves with the Empire, and a little bit of we saw in Rebels with Gar Saxon, and that sort of thing. Okay.
That I've been trying to remember the name
Yeah.
of the person. Like
Yeah,
I
Gar
could not
Saxon.
remember it. Yeah, I think it's Gar Saxon. I think they're gonna bring him
Okay.
in the live action. I also
Ooh,
think there's
could they
a
bring the
possibility-
same actor who did the voice?
Yes, I think 1000% they're doing that. I think they're gonna tie in the stuff from Rebels. I think they're gonna bring in some of the stuff from Clone Wars, some of the other Mandalorians that we just never knew where they went that were against Bo-Katan.
Ooh.
I 1000% think we're
I
getting
would
all of them.
love if they brought in Ray Stevenson to the live action thing.
Wasn't there a rumor that he was in?
I don't
Ahsoka?
remember seeing anything. I just remember that
Let
he
me look
was
it
the
up.
guy who voiced Gar Saxon. And then Kevin McKidd was also one of the voices, but he was a good Mandalorian who helped Sabine against him and such.
Never mind.
Okay.
He is playing the villain of Ahsoka, Ray
Oh.
Stevenson, but he's not playing that character.
Okay. That's
So
right.
maybe they're not
Now
doing
that you
Gar
just
Saxon.
said that, it makes sense. I don't know if that I like him if he's Thrawn, but I don't think he's Thrawn. But yeah, I think it's the Super Commandos, or it's another sect of Mandalorians who want like personal revenge. Sabine and Ahsoka wouldn't do that because they don't necessarily work for the New Republic, but they also wouldn't jeopardize
There's another one. I'm trying to remember the name. I'm gonna look it up.
their intentions. So yeah. Ricardo Silvi's also asked thoughts on the announcement for live action How to Train Your Dragon with Dean Dubois returning as the director. We talked about this when it was announced. I'm not a big fan of this decision. I don't think it's. I hate to use this term because no movie is necessary, but I don't think it's necessary so soon to update it. Say what you will about the Disney live action remakes, and a lot of them, there's a lot of stuff to say, but at least most of them have been given time to breed. It's been 13 years since this franchise started. It's been 5 since it ended. So it feels just a little bit too soon. I guess it's going to be a few years again till this is out, but still, they gave it a date and all that. And those movies have enhanced the art of animation. Those movies are in part as good as they are because they are in animation. They really gave credibility at a time where people were still kind of, oh, I wish they went back to 2D animation. These were like the main movies, particularly the first one. They're like, no, 3D animation can be the shit. So yeah.
I found out who the other
Zach?
people were, by the way.
Who
But
is
I
the
agree
other
with
people?
you.
Who are
Ursa
the other
Ren.
people?
Ursa Ren.
Ursa Ren, Sabine's
People remember
mom.
that. And then Fen Rao. from
Fen
Rebels.
Rao was the guy voiced by Kevin McKidd.
There's a
he
lot of-
sided with the Rens.
Yeah, those are the two that I
Eventually.
couldn't also remember.
Yeah. All right.
Also, Lady Aaron, you said I just added a question for Zach that I really want him to answer. I will only answer it if you send a super chat to Ren for $5, so you can buy something at Star Wars Celebration with that $5.
I didn't see. No, I didn't miss anything.
It's
all right.
in the. She just added it into the thing.
Oh, then we'll eventually get to it if
Nope.
it's still.
Only $5.
within-
Only $5 for you.
But right now we're still in the time frame to answer questions, so
Yeah.
hopefully we'll get there. We just don't guarantee that it does. Eric Thorpe reviews, with the news being all but confirmed that Clayface will be a villain in the Batman Part 2, do you think there's any chance we'll be getting the full-blown meta human version of the character, or do you think Matt Reeves is playing to go with the way the golden version of Clayface, where he's just a guy who uses masks to disguise himself? I think you go with what the Batman the Animated Series did,
And
where
I think
he's
he
an
does.
actor.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's that version, because Batman the Animated Series, pretty fucking grounded, and it still made it work. So I don't see a way where Matt Reeves needs to. I'm sure there'll be a little adaptation, sure, but I think you can plug that version right into the Reeves verse and make it work very well. And you know what? Pick the same actor who voiced Clayface in Batman the Animated Series. Do you know who that was, Zach?
I
Do you
don't.
know who that was? Ron Perlman. Bring him into the
Oh.
Reeveverse.
Ooh. I wanted him to play Swamp Thing, but that's fucking great casting. That's great
Ooh,
casting.
that's
Yeah,
good.
I
That's
wanted
good
him for
too.
Swamp Thing, but I'll say this:
Either one.
I'm so excited because we're gonna get Court of Owls eventually in this world. Obviously, I think there's a chance that we get maybe Mr. Freeze because that's one that I want to, but
Mhm.
Clayface was
Michael
like at the top
Fassbender.
because I want them to dive into some of the more out there supernatural kind of elements because as grounded as this world can be, Matt Reeves' Batman world you can tell is heavily inspired by the animated series.
100%.
That's why they're making their own animated series too.
Yeah.
So Matt Reeves is invested, and while the first film was very grounded, there is a lot of things in there that are not grounded too. So
Mhm.
I mean, it's all really cool how they're building it up.
All right. Nathan Madigan. Thoughts on Marvel chairman Ike Perlmutter being laid off by Disney and future implications? There's two answers to this. Number one, bye-bye, Ike. Get fucked. We don't care about you. We never did. The second answer to this is I, for some reason, thought he had been fired a long time ago. Because he essentially was stripped of power a long time ago.
He's pretty much just on payroll to be on payroll.
Yeah, exactly.
He
So
wasn't doing anything.
I don't really care. Ike Perlmutter is someone who essentially in the last 10 years only got in the way of exciting things happening and never like actively made anything exciting that has come out of Marvel comics, movies, show, whatever. He's not been involved in the creative process for a while, so I don't think he'll be missed whatsoever. So yeah, Zach.
I don't really care for him. So
All right. Nathan Madigan also asks, what decade of movies are you less familiar with that you would like to watch more of? I know enough of the 50s and 60s, but I haven't like actually watched a majority of the movies from that era. And it's not so much that I'm less familiar with, but I have huge blind spots from the 80s. So I guess those are my three per se. What about you?
Same as you. There's a lot that I know, but there's a lot of movies that I've never seen. Even classics that I don't even want to talk about. So,
all right. GWP, let's just say if all the Jonathan Majors stuff came out as true and he gets recast, who would you recast as Kang? I'm going to go back to when you, me, and 3C did Geeks of the Roundtable show, throwback. And we did the pitch for Marvel Phase 5 movies. And I did my pitch for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. And at the time, I said that Kang would show up in the post-credit scene. And at the time, I cast Kang myself as David Oyelowo. So I'm going to pull that one once again. David Oyelowo is my choice for recast. What about you?
who did I tell you? Weren't we just talking about this?
The other day we were in a chat and Leo said John Boyega, but I don't know that you said
I
anyone.
liked him. I don't remember.
Yeah?
I had someone. I don't remember. I know I haven't really been thinking about it because I know that's not like the important thing to think about. David Oyelowo was a great choice though, and he's never been in Marvel, right?
Nope.
You know who would have been a great choice as Kang, but he's already in Marvel? Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Ooh, nice.
He would be so good.
I mean, in another universe, the face we associate with Mordo is the face of Kang.
I'm trying to think though.
You know?
Who else would be? I don't know.
Keep trying to remember. Don't worry about it. Nathan Madigan asks, have you ever experienced burnout, writer's block from making movie reviews? And if so, how did you overcome it? I don't know that my answer is going to be popular, but this is just how I did it. I took time off and I didn't do it for a while. And whenever I saw something, I'm like, I want to talk about this. And I just started talking about this, and it wasn't the best like most eloquently spoken review video I've made, but from then on, slowly got back on track. So just take time off, come back whenever you feel like, oh, I want to talk about this thing, and just do your own thing, do it your own way. What about you?
I'm a little bit different. I don't like taking time off because it makes me feel a little bit off. So I change
Mhm.
stuff. I'll change how I'm
All right.
editing. I'll change how the format I do. Maybe I'll make it more relaxed. I'll change my like what's around me. Per se. Like last year, I did a lot of that. I changed my whole entire fucking set because I wanted something different in the background. Um, that wasn't the same thing that I was looking at constantly, and I have plans for more, and what I do really want my background to look like. Um, but that's kind of like some of the basic stuff. Mostly, a lot of it has actually helped recently. As I started a second channel where I don't have to worry about how that video does. I can just make a video that I want to, and I don't have to think about algorithm and shit like that, or really focus on the thumbnail. I can just post it because I want to talk about it. So I really liked doing that so far because then I'm not stressing about what content I can make and what I can't. Who will watch it, who won't. So I've liked that because it's always a worry when you spend so much time making a video. You're always like, will someone actually watch this? Uh, so that's kind of just been a piece of it. But burnout is a real thing. I mean, it's really tough when
It
you do
is.
this for how long
Yeah.
now? I mean, you and me have been doing this since.
Too long.
Yeah.
All right. GKP, who are actors, actresses you like, but based on their hit or miss filmography, you go in with a this could go either way feeling towards an upcoming film they're in? I don't know that I have actors that I feel that way with. I have directors, I have writers, I have maybe even studios. Um, or producing companies, production companies, but I don't know that I have actors. I certainly have actors that I'm like, this person doesn't necessarily get me excited. I'm not a particular fan of this actor or that actress, but it's not actors that make me, which feels a little bit of hypocritical because there are actors that are like, this person is in it, I don't care what it is about, I'm there. But yeah, I don't know that I have actors like that for me. Or at least I can't remember a scenario where I looked, an actor was in a movie, and I'm like, because this person is in it, it could go either way. What about you? Do you have anyone you feel that way with?
There's a few. Lance Riddick was one. Anytime he either it was whether it was a supporting role
Okay.
or anything he's in, I either knew okay this could be really good or just meh,
Mhm.
but he's gonna be great in it. Like it was always like every time I get the way to put it is that like most of the actors that come to mind are actors that because in general there might be just actors that you're excited for, but they always
Mhm.
go hit or miss. I mean that's most filmographies. It's
Yeah.
very rare when an actor has amazing filmography.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth's another one. Chris Evans too. I'll even go as far as say Ana de Armas. If you look at her filmography, it's not great. Like it's not great,
Yeah.
but she's been in a lot of good shit. She's been in a lot of
Yeah.
good shit. Mark Wahlberg's
Yeah.
another one, but
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
you look at you take any filmography, and that's usually how it looks.
Say hi to your mother for me. With Dungeons and Dragons out, what is your favorite Chris Pine movie and performance? Obviously, Zach will say this means war. Um,
No, I actually wasn't, but not this
but
time.
for me, it's The Princess Diaries. I'm kidding. I've never seen those movies. Hell or High Water, easy.
Yeah, yeah,
100%. I mean, if you want to cheat a little bit, Spider-Man into the
yeah.
Spider-Verse, I guess, but it Hell or High Water. It's Hell or High Water.
Yeah.
Um, though Dungeons and Dragons ranks pretty fucking high in that
Yeah,
list.
he's also really good in
Uh,
Star Trek. He's also really good in
he's great.
Star
I
Trek.
love that. I love that Star Trek trilogy. My favorite is
Same.
Into Darkness. I don't care what anyone says.
Into
Fuck
Darkness
Star
was
Trek
awesome.
fans.
Into Darkness was a great.
Into Darkness is great. All right, Dugo AP, pitch the next Ben Affleck directed movie, whether original or based on an interesting story or popular media you think he'd be perfect for,
I
or
got
go
this.
around
I
like
got
this.
this.
hang on. He makes a Boston remake of Grown Up starring him, Matt Damon, Mark Wahlberg, Chris Evans, and John Krasinski. I would actually like to see that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know what it would be about. Just the cast is really interesting.
All right.
Add Casey Affleck to that. Of course, Casey Affleck is going to be in it. Go ahead, give us your pitch.
Good Will Hunting 2. Someone already tried pitching it to him. I'm going to pitch it too.
Good Will Hunting 2. How you like them apples?
Yeah, pretty much. To be honest, I don't care. I don't really care what Ben Affleck does. He has like 3 other directing things he's supposed to be doing next. He can do whatever he wants. It doesn't matter to me. Whoever's in it, who's not. It'll probably be him and Matt Damon again.
Jacoby P, with both Shazam 2 and Quantumania both underperforming. Wait, did I say both? Okay, you typed in both, so that's why I said both twice. Both underperforming. People already bringing back the superhero fatigue discussion when really it's probably mediocre fatigue. So what do you think the outcome will look like for upcoming 2023 superhero films like Guardians, Spider-Verse, Flash, Blue Beetle, TMNT, Marvel's Aquaman 2 in terms of box office? I think Spider-Verse and Guardians will do well, maybe TMNT, but the others we'll see. It depends if they are well received. If the Flash comes out at CinemaCon, everybody like, this will blow your fucking mind. This is amazing.
That's the next one. That's the next one. We're going to know by the end of the month how it is.
Yeah. Guardians, if it's it's everything. If it's well received, if it has good word of mouth, because people are bringing back superhero movie fatigue. They've been doing it for 10 years. They've been doing it for longer, but they've been doing it for 10 years. Every time a new good one comes out, nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about it. Another good one comes out. Nobody talks about it. Another good one comes out. Nobody talks about it. Another okay one, another bad one, let's say, comes out. Oh, it's back. This is superhero. No, it's not. It's not. It's mediocre fatigue. Because it's the same thing as saying it's a drama fatigue. It's a comedy fatigue. You don't get tired of dramas. I don't get tired of comedies. I get tired of going through a streak of movies that I just not impressed by.
And that's how a lot of the general going audience has felt with superhero films lately.
Yeah.
A lot of people are over it. Mm-hmm.
And they shouldn't. Remember, people felt that with they said that with Love and Thunder. They said it with Black Adam. Then Black Panther: Wakanda Forever came out. Shh, nobody talked about it.
Yeah,
there was no superhero movie fatigue. So yeah.
Let's wait till Guardians, The Flash, and Spider-Man come out. I'll tell you right now, though, if Flash does come out, though, and say the buzz is incredible, 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, huge buzz, and that film doesn't do good, there's a difference on DC and Marvel and how the fan bases are feeling on that part. Yeah. But let's see how Guardians does, because Guardians is the next big one, and it makes money. It makes money.
Jacob P. When I saw Dungeons and Dragons, my theater was packed. Same here. The 2 times I saw it, it was packed. One of them was a press screening, though, so everyone went by invite. Since it's doing well both critically and financially, do you think audiences are now going to see movies based on good word of mouth? Because I saw some say they weren't looking forward to it based on the marketing. They've always gone based on good word of mouth. It just depends if you have someone in your circle who talks good about these things and say, go see it. And then people go see it. Like, I wasn't impressed from the marketing. The entire marketing campaign, I was like, this doesn't look good. But when you see those one-liners, those jokes, those interactions in context, that's when it makes sense. And the fact that they premiered at a festival, and then they had a secret screening, at least over here, and then they had a press screening so early before the movie ever came out, that was a consistent repetition of, oh, these people are seeing it, and now these people are seeing it, and now those people are seeing it, and now those people are seeing it, and everyone is coming out and say, this is really good. This is really fun. And I think it shows studios that do it in advance. Let a lot of people see it, because then you'll hit like every small circle, every kind of audience. They'll be like, okay, maybe I will go watch this. And clearly it's working in their favor. So yeah. Zach, anything to add?
No, not really.
All right. Denise Scott, any physical media pickups lately? I've been sent a 4K Blu-ray of Babylon. It's not a steelbook, so I still have my steelbook in pre-order because I need that shit. It's like a drug. But yeah, that's the one. What about you?
Well, my birthday, I got spoiled. So my mom got me a Digimon, the first season on Blu-ray. I knew you'd be happy about that.
Oh, nice.
My fiance got me a Final Fantasy game. I
Okay.
got Resident Evil. I got games. Like I've mentioned, I'm mostly just doing
Mhm.
games. I got my Babylon Steelbook, Puss in Boots, and then I bought these yesterday because it was buy one get one half off.
Oh, nice. All right.
So that's about it.
Jacoby P, what comic book character, whether MCU or DC, do you think Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly would be perfect for? I know they co-wrote Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh, I know. I have one.
Judging from
Dungeons.
from Dungeons, Booster Gold.
Yep.
It's got to be
That's what I was
Booster
going to
Gold.
say. Yep,
Like out of the
Gold.
things that we know are coming, we know they are making. It's got to be that. It's got to be that.
I would say that, but I would also throw Creature Commando if it ever went live action. Specifically now reading some of the characters and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because of how they work. Because if you really look at it, like, or I know Green Lantern, it seems like they're going kind of a darker route, but like if you were to do a Green Lantern Corps team movie, I think they would kill it.
I don't know that I want Dungeons and Dragons tone with Green Lantern or the Booster Gold tone with Green Lantern. I don't. That one I gotta disagree. So yeah. Then is Scott, what films you enjoy that were released before your time? Too many.
Everything.
Like we talk about, mostly everything. Like those older movies, I don't think I go back to watch some that I hear bad things about. And maybe I'm missing out on some that I actually would enjoy. But I mean, most things from the 80s, Blade Runner, Casablanca, Maltese Falcon, every Hitchcock, like way too many to name right here. Luis Feliciano, what are your thoughts on the Secret Invasion June release date, Vanity Fair article, and what are you hoping to see out of the new trailer tomorrow night? I'm not watching the trailer tomorrow night, so I'm not hoping to see anything. I didn't read the Vanity Fair article. I just took the pictures and put them in a folder for when the reviews come out. June release date, sounds awesome. It's a summer show for Disney Plus that gives us back into the Marvel groove, so I can't wait. So yeah. Zach?
I don't know if I'm watching the trailer yet. I don't think I will. Probably only be a minute.
If it's only a minute, I might watch it. Lady Aaron, thoughts on E3 being canceled this year? Don't care. E3 has been irrelevant for a long time. The companies don't need it. It was only a matter of time until they realized it. So I don't think really anything's been lost here. Zach?
I agree. I mean, it died after COVID, and companies just do their own thing now, and it's cheaper probably for them.
They do their directs, and people always watch it, so they don't need it. E3. Jacoby P, thoughts on Emma Corrin, Matthew McFadden, joining Deadpool 3 with the returning characters. Emma Corrin is awesome, so I can't wait to see her as the villain. I'm hoping she plays Mojo, and I know who Matthew McFadden is playing, but I don't remember if it's public knowledge, so I won't say here.
It's not public.
It's awesome. I love that he's playing.
Can you put in the private chat? I'm pretty sure I know who it is, but I want to make sure that I know. Let me see. Yep. Okay. Yep. We're on the same page.
I love that he's playing this character.
I don't know him as an actor, so I'm excited to.
You don't know him as an actor?
Not really.
I mean,
no.
I guess. Okay. Yeah. All right.
I will just say this though: if I'm probably gonna mispronounce her name, but Morena, or how do you say her name?
Morena Baccarin.
Yeah. If she doesn't come back, I'll be pissed.
Yeah.
I think it's trash.
Lady Aaron, when is the review of the Babylon DVD coming out. I'm not reviewing the DVD. I'm reviewing the 4K Blu-ray. They didn't send me the DVD. I don't even think they were sending out DVDs. I specifically asked for the 4K because otherwise it would be useless on my TV. We'll be watching the 4K after this show, so hopefully I can record the review tomorrow, and it will come out either on Monday or Tuesday. So be on the lookout for that. GQEP, since I rewatched the other Dungeons and Dragons movie and relished in Jeremy Irons' overacting, what isn't over the top performance, whether in a good or bad movie, that you just can't get enough of? That's such a good question. In recent memory, the ghost face in Scream 6 is great. Best of overacting. No, not overreacting, overacting. Most legendary. I mean, anytime Jim Carrey does something, Al Pacino in Heat, Nicolas Cage is excellent at overacting. Tommy Wiseau feels like a cheat to say Tommy Wiseau. Do you have any?
No, not off the top of my head.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Carrey in Liar Liar is excellent overacting. What else? I mean, John Malkovich in Con Air, he is sensational as Cyrus the Virus. Yeah, those are a few. I don't have any others off the top of my head. GGP, aside from Shazam, was March a really good month for blockbusters with Creed 3, Scream 6, John Wick 4, and Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves? 100%. It was. Banger after banger after all-time banger after banger. All those were really good. Such fun movies in their own way. Such great movies in their own way. 100%. March was really fucking good. Zach?
No, I agree. It was a great movie or a great month for movies.
All right. Jack Alexander, are there any anti-war films that change your perspective on how you have viewed your country's involvement or another country's involvement in a particular war? Ooh.
That is a great question, by the way. That is a great question.
It is a great question.
Even though I don't know the answer.
Hacksaw Ridge is one. By the way, definitely not my country because we're never involved. Hacksaw Ridge was one. Saving Private Ryan is another. All Quiet on the Western Front definitely did it.
Specifically, its whole beginning and end.
Yeah. Jojo Rabbit. Jojo Rabbit did it. Life is Beautiful. How could you not mention that? So yeah, those are a few for me. Do you have any besides those? If those change you, because for better or worse, your country is definitely involved in these. Well, not All Quiet on the Western Front, but still. GCOVP, thoughts on Liv Tyler coming back as Betty Ross in Captain America: New World Order, and do you guys think we'll see Mark Ruffalo or even Tatiana Maslany show up on it, either as a cameo or in the post-credit scene, since we're getting a lot of incredible Hulk's character in this? We're not going to answer this question. So take that as you will, but we cannot answer this question because we know the answer. So yeah. And last question, because we are about to hit the 90-minute mark. Dennis Scott, have Star Wars fans forgotten how much hate they gave George Lucas about the original trilogy, special editions, the prequel trilogy, and now they're going to act like nothing happened? I don't know what this specifically means, what this is in relation to, but it feels a little bit like you're talking about the revisionist history that constantly happens on Twitter. And it happens all the time. People always forget and always want to rewrite history. So I'm not shocked. So yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching this Week in Geek. Thank you so much for joining us. We got a packed week. We got a packed weekend. Again, we don't have a show next week, but maybe join me on Instagram. Maybe join me right here, and maybe I can upload some shorts. I can do some lives for Instagram and talk about a few things. So yeah, join us. This week, what do I have? I have my Air review coming out. I have my Babylon 4K Blu-ray review. I'll also do an unboxing on video for you guys. I will have my review for Super Mario Brothers on Thursday, and then I will also watch The Pope's Exorcist, but I don't know if I'll review that one. But I have videos coming out. There was no video this week.
That movie's coming out already?
Yeah, Friday.
Maybe for you. I think we still have a little bit to go.
Oh, really? Then I might review it.
Yeah, let me see. I'm pretty sure in here we don't get it till like the 18th.
Okay. Interesting.
That's the one
just
with
lounging on my couch.
That's the one with Russell Crowe, right? Oh,
Russell Crowe.
Never mind. I'm kidding.
Okay.
It says the 13th, April 13th for us.
13th. So I'll do it on the weekend then. I might do it on the weekend.
It comes out next week, though.
Yeah. It comes out on the 7th. All right, everyone. Thank you again for watching us. Thank you for joining us. I will see you next week in one way or another. Stay tuned for what's coming out on this channel, for what's coming out on Zach's channel. His Air review is already up because he has more energy than me because he's a younger man. But we'll see you in the next one. So until then, love each other.